Hey guys, so we're going to try and draw a fantasy picture of a building that maybe like a wizard's shop or something like that, because we can try and do some 3D stuff with the building. And fantasy is kind of fun to work with. So first we're going to rough in the shape of a 3D building. And so if you remember your 1-point perspective stuff, if you haven't heard it before, I'll just remind you. Whenever you're drawing a picture that's 3D, there's going to be perspective, which means things closer to us are bigger, things farther away from us are smaller. And if you're using 1-point perspective, it's pretty easy to do that. You imagine the horizon line, so where the sky and the ground meet. Imagine that, and then you imagine a point on it. So let's say if my point was over here. I do it very light because it's not going to be part of the picture. When I draw a building, the edges of the building are going to line up with this dot. And if it's shorter, they might go down like that. If it's taller, they might go up like this. So I'm just kind of showing you, you don't have to draw this part, but the top and the bottom of my building are going to use one of these lines as a guide. Okay? So it means you're going to have a diagonal. And let's say, I think I'll use this one because I want kind of room for a sidewalk. And we're going to draw a diagonal line that points at this imaginary dot over here. So go ahead and draw a diagonal line. Okay, and now it kind of helps me to turn the paper because my arm goes in this motion. If I try to draw a diagonal line like this, that's unnatural for me. I want to move like this with the movement of my elbow. So I'm going to turn my paper, and I think I'll use this guide that I made. Diagonal line. We're not using rulers or anything. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now I've got the roof edge of my store and the ground edge of my little shop I'm making. Now I made the line a little bit too big in some places. I don't need this extra bit over here. I just gave it some extra to make sure I had enough. So now we're going to make the side walls of the shop. Actually, I might make it a little longer. I want to have room for the door and everything. Okay, so the sides of the shop need to be perfectly vertical. Vertical is a line that goes up and down, like the edges of your paper on the left and the right side. Horizontal are the flat lines, like the top and the bottom of your paper. The problem I see a lot when children are having problem or artists are having problems with their perspective is they make their vertical lines not actually vertical. They make them tilted and diagonal in some way. So for example, if I were to go like this for my line, that is not a vertical line. My building is going to look like it's falling down. Okay, so we're going to look at the edge of the paper. We're going to think about how it needs to be a vertical line. We're going to make a perfectly vertical line that connects my two bottom and top of my building. Alright, let's go to this side. And again, vertical line. It's okay if there's some line that sticks out. We'll just erase that. So perfectly vertical. Do not tilt it to make it catch that other bit. If there's a bit that you drew too big, that's fine. We just want this to be vertical. Okay, so that was extra for me. If you drew soft, it shouldn't be that hard to erase. Okay, so this is just one wall. For the other wall of my building, I'm just going to make a horizontal. So match the top of your page and just go horizontal. So this is the side wall of my building. Okay, so here's the fun part. We're going to get to start decorating and making this a fantasy building. So first, I want a big window because it's going to be a wizard shop. So right next to my vertical line here, I'm going to make another vertical line very close to it, about from there to there. Okay, now remembering our little dot guide over here, we want the top and the bottom of the window to point towards that dot. So if I were to think about where the dot is and then make the line, I don't want it to go all the way over here. I'm going to put a door over here. So I'm going just this far into my building. There's the bottom of my window. And then the same thing for the top. Again, I'm turning my paper to make it easier for me to draw that line. Think about pointing at the dot. We're gonna okay. And then our perfectly vertical line. Okay, I'm going to give you some time to catch up there. You should have sort of a rectangle or a square and two trapezoids, one inside the other. Alright, let's make the door. So I'm going to make the verticals of the door. Right here I'm going to start. I'm going to go up as tall as I want that door to be. Make sure it's vertical. Let's stop a little under the window. Alright, move over as wide as you want the door to be. Right there. Perfectly vertical. My door might be tilted a little bit. Remember our rule about the dot. So think about the top of the door going as a line to the dot. Okay, so the top of the door, like that. Okay. I'm going to add some details here. Let's add a doorknob. So I made an oval, and then I'm going to put a little rectangle behind the oval overlapped to make a doorknob. Let's make a window. Vertical, vertical, okay. And our dot guide. That. I'm drawing it over and over again until I can imagine that line, and then I just make it on the page. Okay. Oh, above the door, let's make a little sign. I'm going to start on this edge. I'm going to curve up to the middle of where the door is. And so now I'm going to curve back down to the other side of the door. we could just finish that up with a line above the door. So you can write whatever you want on here. I think I'll write Wizard Shop. So Wizard, W-I-Z-A-R-D, 6 letters. Shop, S-H-O-P, 4 letters. 6 plus 4 is 10, but we want a space in the middle. So I'm doing that math to think about how many letters I can fit. If I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I can fit it. The problem is people will sometimes start drawing letters without thinking about how big they are, and they'll make them huge, and then by the time they get to the end they don't fit all their letters. So I kind of spaced it out with those dots. Go ahead and write whatever kind of shop you want. Wizard. And I'll give it a little space and put shop. And then what kind of picture? Oh, I'll put a little cauldron. For a cauldron, I'm going to put an oval. In this shape. And 3 little feet on it. 1, 2, 3. All right. So then on the window of the shop, we need some wizard stuff. What kind of thing will a wizard have? How about a wizard hat? Okay, so I'm going to start the hat with the top part, I think. Go along, upside down V. Remember, this is supposed to be inside the window, so it might be blocked a little bit by the edges of the window. Curve. Now, if I was just drawing this hat with nothing, I would make an oval. But since the window's in the way, I'm going to make an oval that parts of it are blocked. So, oval, that part's blocked. Oval, that part's blocked. Oval. If your hat's not blocked, you could draw the whole oval. If it's more blocked, draw less of the oval. I think you get it. And then to make it a little nicer, I'm going to put another curve here so it looks like it's got a ribbon on it. And you can fancy it up even more with like little diamonds or stars and moons, that kind of thing. Little moons. It's fun. Okay, let's see, what else kind of magical stuff? Well, how about that cauldron? But this time, this one's just like a cartoon version. We'll make a more realistic version and we'll put like smoke coming out of it, like it's brewing something. So I'm going to make another oval. And then outside that oval, I'll make another oval just a little bigger. Okay, and then I make a curve, it comes down, bottom, and comes back up. And then we'll put a little handle on it. Okay, I'm gonna put smoke coming out of it. Remember, it stays inside the building. Unless, ooh, I know, put a little smokestack on top, and so some smoke will be coming out. That'd be funny. Tell the building vertical line, curve. And some smoke's escaping. Magical smoke. Some potions. And over here I think I'll put a bookshelf. So I'm just going to draw a straight line across. It's kind of hidden by the cauldron and the smoke. And one on top of that. Let's do that again here. Straight line across, straight line across. And up here, straight line across, straight line across. And then I'll let you go crazy with this, just add some rectangles. Short ones, long ones, fat ones, sideways ones, angled ones. Books. The bookshelf. Okay, now you could detail this forever, and I'll let you do some of that on your own. For now, I'm going to go ahead and think about my background a little bit, because right now my building's just kind of floating. So, for the background, let's say we're on a road to like a magical forest. So, using my dot again, I'm going to make just kind of a line that sort of goes to the dot, but it's also not perfectly straight. And then I'm going to start the dot, and going to be right next to that wiggly line I started, but then as I go down the page, I'm going to get further and further away from it. So now it looks like it's a road that's going far away. When it gets to the end, I'm going to put a curve here, so now it's kind of going behind a hill. On this side, let's just fill it up with bushes. I'm running out of time here. Time to be fancy. So we got bushes. There. Let's add one old tree back here just to kind of make it look a little more interesting. Be any kind of tree you like, and copy mine if you want. Alright, then there could be clouds in the sky, there could be birds, there could be a sun. One more thing, let's do something on the side of the building here. Let's say that somebody came by and put a poster up. So I'm going to make kind of a crooked rectangle. And look, I made it so that it cut into the edge. And if something's on the edge, it will bend. So I'm putting the corner of it on this other wall. I gotta change the angle though. There. So the poster's bending around, making it look a little 3D. And then you can put whatever you want on the poster. Here, I'm just gonna put a dragon. It's a poster for buying dragon snacks or something. Yeah, you can take your time, add whatever kind of thing you want. Alright guys, there's our simple wizard shop using 3D perspective. Some of it you could definitely add on to, but that's like the basics. Have fun. Bye.